All right, Ulm turn 54. We had a throne claim. More units being summoned. There are a few battles. I think this is mostly just raiding. So yeah, we raided out and then got raided by a Jarl. And then yeah, this was us clearing some Ivy Kings and etc. off of the other cap that we have. So that's good. Getting our money back. And then, of course, Burden of Time still going strong, causing problems for everyone who's alive, which definitely really sucks. Maybe talk about that in a little bit. And then, yeah, events. Hey, more negative Dominion. Yeah, this could really become a problem if this keeps up. And then, of course, yep, we're getting attacked. And blizzards, negative income, negative income. And then, hey, got a high priest. That's good. Unrest going down a little bit. So, yeah, we lose this to some earth elementals. The earth gnomes, not so great, but the earth elementals are kind of nasty, and we just have, like, absolutely minimal monkey PD here. We lose a scout that I'd recruited, because, yeah, even the sneaky units, when you first recruit them, like, I don't know, they don't get auto set to sneak, so they can get caught like the first turn that they come in. Another advantage of recruiting inside forts, but just trying to get this guy off fort. But yeah, we breached the fortification on top of the throne right here, and we're going in right away. So there's really no reason to wait. Yeah, just give them more time to prepare, more time to bring these guys up. Like this is where we were raided by that Jarl. So I mean, he could sally out and send this Jarl over, but like that's fine. We'll take a field battle. We have enough stuff here. We've beaten more Jarls. I think there's only 3 in here. So that'd be 4 total. Which I mean, yeah, that's still scary. But yeah, I mean, this is what we have. So either he comes over and sallies out and there's a field battle, or we go in and hopefully capture the fort. So we'll see. And then this high priest. Yeah, sometimes you get these guys. It's kind of nice. We don't actually have a lot of holy twos as Ulm. So this is actually kind of a nice thing. If you ever face off against undead or anything like that. I mean 1 holy 2 is like but I mean we'll take it. You have to pay upkeep on them, which can probably not an issue for like 1 priest, but a lot of times they come with like just some militia, and like various events will give you troops, which can be like a little annoying because you got to pay upkeep on these guys. But I mean you don't have to pay anything to recruit them, which is nice. And so yeah, so I'm just going to use these guys to try to patrol down like unrest. I kind of have unrest all over the place. That's another advantage of just like kind of raiding around. Like you can see this is kind of a disaster. Like the income is being brought down a lot by all this unrest. Really even just, and then of course this place, I don't know. But yeah, pretty much everywhere has at least low levels of unrest because, I mean, pretty much all of it has been, captured and recaptured. Here you go. I think he came with some negative unrest, which is nice. But anyway, yeah, that just drives your income down a lot. So, even when people recapture from raiding, like, they're still not going to get, like, all the money they were getting back, like, right away. That is one advantage. Like, sometimes if you go up to 10 PD here, you just get like a static unrest reduction. It's just 1 per turn, so it's not, it takes a while. Looks like I put some PD in this. So yeah, it takes a while. I mean, 14 turns to remove all this unrest, like that's not great. But I mean, at least you will get rid of it, without any other input from you, assuming something doesn't happen in the meantime. So sometimes for, I don't have a ton of valuable provinces. Maybe this got 7,000 population, probably a lot of unrest. Yeah, so like this is maybe a candidate, to put 10 in. So anyway, for the more valuable provinces, I'll sometimes bump the PD up to 10, just so that if something happens, like some event, I don't necessarily have to like get some patrollers over there. It'll just tick down slowly. Not super efficient. Patrollers are probably better. You really do want some squads of patrollers. I have not been doing great with that this game. So yeah, they're just useful for, you know, trying to find stealthy units, which you talked about, and then but then also unrest reduction can be a really big deal depending on the faction. It's not like as important for Ulm because I mean I took a little bit of order, which just sort of helps with unrest. Yeah, there's just like some natural unrest reduction in our lands. You know, and Ulm doesn't really have like any features that like generate, like some units will just generate unrest, just, you know, simply by being in the province and etc. So yeah, so for some factions, like you really do need to consider like unrest reduction a lot more. But for Ulm, you know, it's kind of just standard. It's still definitely something you need to think about. So anyway, these are patrollers now, so we got some free patrollers, so that's cool. So we're gonna try to use them to, you know, fix some of this disaster. Other than that, like, you know, just trying to keep the pressure up. You know, gonna be raiding into here. Yeah, this is just this random giant. He must have got left behind at some point, never got picked up. He always scares me. I always think like, oh no, there's a Jarl there, but he's not a Jarl. He looks very similar. Like, yeah, that's a Jarl, and that's just a giant. In fact, they look, I think it might be the same, almost the same sprite. Anyway, so yeah, this would be relatively safe. I mean, you know, he could move, you know, some troops out from his capital, but I mean, you know, yeah, he doesn't know that I'm going to come here. So we could bump into something, but it doesn't really look like he's bringing anything up. So yeah, I feel like a relatively safe raid, and I think this is a very safe raid because this is kind of a hassle for him to get to again because these are mountain passes here, so they'll be closed, like, you know, probably permanently, and then he can get to it from this throne. But like, you know, these sages, like, they're good, but I mean they kind of need support, you know, like you usually don't want to just send a bunch of sages out, you know, to potentially get like chopped up by axe warriors. So yeah, so I don't think this will be defended, and it'll be kind of annoying for him to retake. So yeah, gonna raid there as well. And then yeah, you know, moving some scouts out. Also have some, you know, these raiders, like they just raided. They're gonna stealth and go after this. It looks like some bindmen managed to get this at some point. So yeah, we're actually just sneaking into that. Probably don't want to clear this. I mean, this is pretty easy to clear. But you know, I mean, it's like I don't really want to waste my raiders taking out independents like in his provinces. Like I would rather be taking his provinces. I mean, that said, you know, it is connected to my land, so I could draw taxes off of it, but he may take this Jarl and go clean this out. Although, you know, he may also attack. So anyway, just sneaking into here, and then, you know, kind of we'll see after that, you know, what we want to do. And then, yeah, let's see. Bringing up a fire mage. Is this guy on retreat? Probably not. Oh, hey, he is. All right, I learned my lesson. That's good. Although there's no Jarls loose, so who knows? But you never know when some earth elementals are just going to show up. So if you're just moving a mage around, yeah, not a bad idea to have them on retreat. Just increases the likelihood they'll survive. I mean, unless they're super kitted. Yeah, I mean, if they're like a thug or a super combatant, then yeah, maybe just leave them on their script. Another thing that can be kind of nice, yeah, I don't really have any, but some of the mobility boots, like flying shoes, or there's some nature boost boots that increase map move, can be really nice for stuff like this. Like he probably, like with flying shoes, he'd be able to jump like right from this fort to this fort. So it just, you know, reduces the number of turns it takes to like kind of, you know, reshuffle mages, and it keeps them a little safer if they can jump from like fort to fort. So definitely something that, you know, if you have the luxury of doing, you know, just keep a couple boots handy to let your mages move around more easily. But we don't, so he's trudging through the snow nice and slow, because yeah, he does not have snow move or any like the cool stuff that Ulm has. And I mean, that is like, usually you don't want to like change your build because you don't know what kind of indies you're going to get. But yeah, you know, when you go like cold 3 like this, you know, and you know you're going to have snow everywhere, it's like, I mean, same with the Amazons actually. They at least have forest survival, which is cool. But yeah, no snow move on them, right? So the fact that like, you know, everything is snowy definitely does mean that like any independents that I get are going to slow down my forces considerably. And then of course, like most of them aren't stealthy, and yeah, so mixing independence into your forces, like you do need to think about it a bit, because you know they usually don't have, you know, your national strengths. So anyway, yeah, bringing him up. Looks like just patrolling here. Yeah, trying to reduce the unrest. You really want 0 unrest when you can, especially for like a capital. Because, yeah, it's just, a lot of lost income. So before we go in on the barbarians, going to patrol this down with this group. So, yeah, and I think research, is the same. So we've talked about that. And, it's doing okay. Still making more lanterns. So, that is starting to take off a little bit. But, we're so many mages busy. Yeah, and I mean, this is... using these mages, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Maybe you should have used chiefs, because could have had these guys researching. I don't know. The chiefs go down pretty easy, so it's really, can go either way. But yeah, and then a few scouts left. Looks like is doing really well. It looks like they're attacking, I think it's Lanka now. And they have, I don't forget exactly where. Oh yeah, here's Urmor. They probably have Urmor, it looks like, as well. And they replaced, Abyssia gone, so they took Abyssia. So I mean, is on at least 3 capitals. Looking pretty scary. We've seen him fight a few times. I've seen their god. You don't have big borders with him, but definitely something to keep an eye on. He ate Abyssia without too much trouble, it seemed like. Now he's just moving on to another player right away. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Still, trying to move scouts around, trying to figure out what Ververnia is doing. I think this guy's they're just hiding and waiting. I think I'm kind of a bit given up. Trying to figure out, I just don't really have enough scouts, and it doesn't really seem like he's attacking anybody from when I was on his borders. So he may just be hanging out and attacking, but yeah, he's doing a pretty good job of patrolling his forts and stuff. So yeah, I definitely don't have great scout coverage on him. And then I think that more or less, I still have a few scouts loose, trying to figure out how the Vanheim-Xibalba war is going. Doesn't look, this is Xibalba's capital, so I mean, he's lost some of his cap circle to Vanheim. I'm pretty sure Vanheim had this throne, but yeah, I mean, here's another cap. It doesn't look good for Xibalba, which is actually kind of bad for us, because Vanheim is our neighbor, and if he was locked in this war with Xibalba forever, that would be great. But I mean, he does still border Baratos. I don't really. Baratos is in here somewhere. I don't know how big he is, but anyway, that's a potential counterbalance. And then I think he also borders Helheim, right? Because Helheim is here, and I know he extends down this way somewhat. We saw him take Machaca, which is in here somewhere. So yeah, I think that covers turn 54. All right, Ulm, turn 55. Bringing in some more troops, but most importantly, let's take a look at this assault. So yeah, same army that we've seen before, that won that pivotal battle. Haven't really changed it too much. We did lose a lot of skeletons, so we've ditched the skeleton front line and moved them out to the flanks here because there's just fewer of them, and they also kind of just got in the way, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see how that change goes. Fort assaults are always a hassle. So yeah, Niflheim gets these hurlers. Not very many of them. Certainly fewer archers than normal. But hey, these boulders do hurt. And yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out because normally they only have 2 ammunition. But I think the guys on the walls have unlimited. I think they just keep on going. So that's actually a little rough. Having 6 boulders come down just for pretty much the duration of the battle. But anyway, so this is what he's got inside. Not dissimilar to what we've seen before, although he's got these ghosts now, or I think, dispossessed spirit, who are actually, I think, technically different than ghosts. I think there's a different one that's actually called Ghost. Anyway, these guys are, they're pretty weak. They only have, 1 hit point, and attack and defense is garbage. They're undisciplined. They are ethereal, floating. Not that it comes up a lot. Didn't actually know they were stealthy. That's kind of cool. And then a lot of the normal tags for undead. And then they get this paralyze, which is kind of cool. It's a magic resistance negates, but I don't think your armor really helps. I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. Armor negating. Right, so yeah, so armor doesn't really matter. So it can be kind of cool against like heavily armored troops, and then I mean obviously like being paralyzed is really bad. You know, if there's somebody else that can kill you if you're relying on like defense or whatever. Honestly, maybe be good against like elves. Although you know the magic resistance negates is a bit rough. And then of course these guys have to hit. So if you have really high defense, like you know. Anyway, they're not great. They're pretty cheap. But yeah, and then you know we've seen the Rinvedia and the Giants. He's got some random commander here, which you know it's useful to have commanders. So, but not great for this battle. So this guy, I don't know if we've seen him before. He is a hero, heroic endurance, which is pretty good. So this guy's not going to get fatigued out. Gets extra like reinvigoration. Yeah, wow, 9. Some of that's from like this item, but yeah, I mean that's really high, like before even starting any kind of buff cycle. No poison resistance though, luckily. So yeah, I mean he must just be like strapped for like nature gems. Although I mean he does like, yeah, he has some nature casters, so she's got some death gems. We've seen one of these before that was doing some poison resistance, but yeah, this one's not really kitted out to do that. Not sure what he's gonna do with these death gems. Nothing good for me or the troops. But yeah, not too much in here. So yeah, I thought there was 3 Jarls in here. Oh, here's another Jarl. Yeah, he's not really even kitted. So it looks like he's going to be a spellcaster mostly focused on water. This is a water booster. And then, yeah, quite a few gems of, like, different stripes. So, see, he managed to get cursed at some point. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, even just with the Bless, with the regeneration, you know, and I mean, he's got a magic weapon and a ton of strength. Even, like, ungeared, you know, these guys are scary. Yeah, you could use the Death Gem. He's only at Death 2, but you could use the Death Gem to bring himself up to do the whole Soul Vortex and all that. So, like, yeah, even though he's ungeared, kind of scary. But, yeah, fewer Jarls in here than I thought, which is good. Although, yeah, a decent amount of troops, which makes sense because, like, yeah, we did have a little trouble breaking down the walls. But we got through these troops no problem before. We'll see about the ghosts. I don't think there'll be a problem. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see what he's doing. Yeah, so a bunch of Blessing coming down. She cast Invulnerability on herself, so that shoot up a Death Gem because that's D3, so she had to boost herself. And yeah, there goes those boulders. That's Foul Vapors coming up. Okay, what do we got going on here? Body Ethereal. Yeah, we're well familiar with that. I forgot that these get Astral. That's really cool. These are cool casters. Kind of expensive, I think. Just all the Giants tend to be kind of expensive. That's probably one of their downsides. They can't, you know, just take a crap ton of mages and give them great swords and throw them at people. Not that you should necessarily do that. Anyway, it looks like these ghosts, oh yeah, they're floating, so they just go like right over the wall. And ethereal units can go through the walls, which is pretty cool. Definitely, like, you know, you can take some, normally like you can't do any flanking on, like, you know, a castle assault, but with ethereal units, you know, you can throw them out on the flank, tell them to attack rear, and they'll just shoot, go right through the walls. So yeah, if you have anything that's ethereal, very useful for castle assaults, honestly, on attack or defense, because I mean usually less good for the defenders because usually you're outnumbered. That's why you're in a fort getting assaulted. So you don't necessarily want to like send guys out into, like, you know, you want to use this choke point. But you never know. I mean, sending like a, you know, raiding like a small force to try to get, you know, mess with their mage line in the back can be good. So anyway, but yeah, these guys are both floating and ethereal. So it looks like they're going over the wall. Some Strength of Giants there. Not sure what that was. Oh, slow. Okay, yeah, I think that's coming from us. Hoping to get the Jarls with that, you know, to try to, but I mean, they are well protected, so I think slow only has like range 30 or something, so there's no way we're getting back here. Which, yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to mess with guys, like, you really do kind of need flyers, and we're kind of out of flyers. That is one thing. We don't have any gargoyles. I think we summoned some more, but, you know, either felt it wasn't, you know, a good enough idea. I mean, they still managed to get through their buff cycle before, And the gargoyles will get a little better with some more research coming up, so may have just decided to conserve them, and didn't bother to cast Swarm or any, really, like, yeah, not trying to mess with their backline at all, which, yeah, you know, it's been on and off successful, probably more unsuccessful, really, and it does chew up a lot of resources, so yeah, sometimes like it can be good to just not bother with a strategy that's chewing up a lot of resources for not too much value. All this damage popping up, I'm pretty sure this is Maws of the Earth here, and you can just see like from all the damage popping up. All right, and here's a few guys that got Earth gripped. Now, I mean, it's particularly effective against these Rimvetti again because they're so tightly packed, and then they also get squeezed into this gap here. So I mean, it's not always this good, but anyway, yeah, Maws of the Earth, good spell if you have Earth. And yeah, it looks like some of our Vine Ogres here are getting paralyzed. That's these ones that are gray. Yeah, so I mean, they have, well, okay, he has no attack or defense because he's paralyzed, but even when they're not paralyzed, like Vine Ogres, like, yeah, so like this is actually like a pretty good play against the Vine Ogres. Definitely sucks that these guys are getting paralyzed. Not sure. Let's see. Okay, yeah, just finished Body Ethereal. Do you kind of want to see? So yeah, just throwing out some more evocations and stuff. I think these are our Earth Elementals. Let's go ahead and turn on team colored squares. Yeah, so that is our Earth Elemental. And I mean, Ethereal is going to be a little tough, but otherwise, like, yeah, I think these spirits might be, yeah, size 1, or wait, that's strength. Yeah, but yeah, size 1. So they pack in really tight as well. They will not get affected by Maws of the Earth, I believe, actually, because they're floating. So that is actually a case where floating matters in this battle specifically. But anyway, yeah, so the trample is really good against, guys that pack in tight, but a lot less good against Ethereal, just a lot less likely to squish them. So let's see what... Yeah, still have a bunch of death gems. Basically fatigued out. Not sure... Yeah, not really sure what she's doing. Just animate dead. Yeah, that's, just create some Solace. Not that many, so probably not like super high research. Not sure what happened with all these gems. Possibly script got interrupted. I don't actually see any poison on her. Definitely, if mages take damage, they can have their spell casting interrupted. So yeah, I mean, sometimes your script doesn't go off because, again, that's why you throw flying garbage at the back. But yeah, not sure what happened there. I think the Rimvetti are... No, they're still going. So yeah, alright, let's see here. Yeah, the Earth Elemental going in, although definitely taking some damage here. Yeah, they shrink when it's now size 4, so they have like a couple different forms. I think when they go down to like 0 hit points in their current form, then they drop down to like the next smallest form that has less hit points, and then etc. etc. You can see like he's really getting hammered. That's again the advantage of packing in super tightly, is you get a bunch of attacks, and then he has garbage defense skill. Yep, there he goes. So yeah, but also some air elementals, full sized for us. That's good news. So yeah, they're definitely gonna help a lot. Some banishment coming down. I mean, that's, yeah, against undead, like it can be tough to beat banishment. I think banishment is one of the best ways, really, especially like these like chaffy undead. That there's gonna be a ton of them. So yeah, banishment chewing up real good. Yeah, you can see these guys are still throwing stones. I gotta believe they've thrown more than 2. So yeah, anyway, the wall guys, they keep on trucking, and those boulders, I'm sure, are doing work periodically. Little blade wind. Here's a little more dead. This is probably like a bigger, maybe this was, yeah, she used some gems to cast like a higher level. That's probably what they're for, I'm imagining. Starting to take some poison. I don't think she cast like poison resist on herself. You may not have the research, actually. You might have gone down a different tree, it just doesn't even though it's like, yeah, this is a nature mage, sure, but you have to research the spell. So although he did have poison ward, the AoE one, so I mean, yeah, it's a little wasteful because it takes a gem to just do it on the one, but yeah, kind of surprised that didn't come out. So yeah, he cast a water elemental here. That was probably from the Jarl. The water elementals, when it's cold enough, I think it's got to be cold 2 or 3. Not sure what it is. We'll go ask one of our Rimvetti. Hey, how cold is it? cold 3. Yeah, so I think it's just cold 2 or 3. Definitely cold 3. Water elementals become ice elementals, which honestly probably aren't as good. So, if you really want to spam a bunch of water elementals, play an underwater nation first and foremost, because they're great underwater. They're pretty good on land too, but it's got to be at least like neutral or maybe cold 1. So anyway, take heat scales if you really want to play with water elementals on land. The ice elementals, I mean, they're okay. They got a chill aura, which is kind of cool, but otherwise they're kind of like earth elementals. They trample. And I mean, yeah, like we saw what happened to that other earth elemental. I mean, same thing can happen to them. I don't even think these guys regenerate. Yeah. And technically that earth elemental regenerated for all the good it did it. That can matter, but yeah, the tramplers tend to like, because they actually move around when they attack, so they'll like slide into enemy formations, and then they tend to get surrounded and killed. So yeah, tramplers, like you really kind of need like a critical mass, I feel like, and I really don't know what those breakpoints are for the different tramplers, but anyway, yeah, ice elementals like definitely arguably worse than the water elemental. I think most people feel that water elementals are better. Water elementals also get like more attacks and stuff, so yeah, water elementals are pretty nice. Ice elementals kind of meh. But I mean, it'll trample our guy, all of our guys actually, even the vine ogres. The vine ogres look pretty big, but they're technically only size 4. Got a little moss body out. That's probably from some of our jade sorceresses here. And yeah, some of these guys taking damage, maybe some boulders, maybe, I mean, poison is definitely still a problem. You can see this guy's taking some poison. His morale has failed. In fact, yeah, we've had a couple morale failures back here. Yeah, probably taking some afflictions. Some of that might be from, here's Burden of Time. So this guy is already old. And, some of these afflictions might be from Burden of Time. But, I mean, when you take damage from poison, so... some of the afflictions could be self-inflicted. So yeah, this guy's got his soul vortex up, and he's up on a wall. That's a little freaky. I think it will affect these guys, although I don't actually know if it'll go through the wall. But it looks like we've broken through, which is good. We have a lot of routers, at least among the regular troops. Still some more undead coming in. We did get a great sword in contact with this guy, although... Oh, hey, nice. And this is this is Ansobert, our geared out guy, although he's basically fatigued out, which is not good. He didn't manage to get any reinvigoration. I must have not given him an earth gem. He's actually only an earth 1, and you need 2 to summon that earth power. He doesn't have any reinvigoration gear, and this is definitely a problem with, not giving reinvigoration to our guys, or to any thug. It doesn't help that he's an old man now, so he has extra encumbrance. So, we're just sending this old man at the Neefel Jarl. Come on, you can do it, buddy. And, he's about ready to fall asleep. So that's not good. He's probably going to die. But we have a few other greatsword guys that got loose in here. But it's actually, like, I don't know, the Vine Ogres, because they got paralyzed, probably somewhat, by those ghosts. And it's just harder for them to squeeze through. They've fallen behind for the most part, other than 1 or 2 Vine Ogres that really went at it. And then all of our size 2 chaff has managed to squeeze through, which is not great, because now they're starting to just surround this guy. And he's super poisoned, which is good. Oh, and he's routed. Okay, so that's good news. But yeah, it's gonna be hard for our greatsword guys to get in there. And then there's this guy's the caster. Yeah, it looks like his morale's failed as well, although he's asleep. Not sure what happened to his other caster. May have died due to poison, may have run off. But yeah, so we're just down to the Jarls. They both went out. Yeah, so he's headed out. Okay, that's good. This guy's trapped though, which is bad. So yeah, I mean, he wants to escape. His stats are still really good. This is a geared one too, which makes sense. It's farther forward. But yeah, I mean, even with the stat debuff from routing and everything, his stats are still really good. And does this guy have a ton of shock resistance? No. Okay, so possibly these 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 air elementals have fatigued out as well. Yeah, I should probably look up exactly how Soul Vortex works. It may do fatigue damage as well, because you don't normally, air elementals, they have 0 encumbrance. So units with 0 encumbrance, they generally don't generate any fatigue. I mean, unless they're casting spells. Spellcasting always generates fatigue. But yeah, so to see, you don't normally, if an air elemental is asleep, something weird has happened. And that weird thing is probably Soul Vortex. So that's not good. So like these guys are basically just providing like a shield for him, for the Jarl. Because like, yeah, now the rest of our guys can't get in. And, you know, we've got some skeletons and terracotta warriors and stuff that have made it up here. I don't see that. Ansobert is gone. So I think we know what happened to him. Yeah, and the terracotta warriors are fatiguing out and getting frozen. The undead, you can see, like they have no encumbrance and no fatigue either, right? Because they don't give a shit about, you know, the cold aura or the soul vortex. So that's good. But like, you know, 2 skeletons, like they're not. Forget it, right? We've seen these guys, so that is bad. So yeah, this was looking good, and now, you know, just in the wonderful, weird world of Dominions, this is looking really bad now. If we can get, so okay, we got a couple guys. It's not all bad. So here's a greatsword guy. He's got poison resistance 10, so that's good. He hasn't been poisoned at all. He has no damage or anything. He even has, some reinvigoration, right? Because he's Earth 2. You can see like the difference that makes. He's got no fatigue right now going in, which is just great news. And then this guy, no fatigue going in again. So this guy's Earth 3. Ooh. Oh yeah, no, he probably boosted himself up. He was already in Earth 2. You don't want to risk Earth 3s usually. At least I don't. Not as Olm. They're rare. But anyway, he's not actually in Earth 3. But yeah, and he's got Moss Body on him as well, which will help protect him. And he's got some, poison resistance armor. So, and he's got a Ring of Frost, which will make sure. So, like, this guy's ready to go. Other than the fact that, like, he's just a puny human. He does have 28 prots, so he iron skinned himself. And he's experienced. I mean, he may have killed a Jarl already. So yeah, fingers crossed that he gets in there. I mean, 40 damage. That's being helped by this Girdle of Might. So I mean, if these guys can get in, and then like these whites with their Bane blades also, can do work. This one's pretty messed up. But hey, maybe he'll get in there. Not all undead are like unroutable, because this guy is not mindless. So yeah, his morale can fail, which we've seen that before. So anyway, and his morale's not great because apparently he doesn't want to die a second time. He got resurrected and he's like, I don't want to screw this up time number 2, so he might run away. Oh boy. So it looks like, he did at least take a hit, so that's good news. This guy's also iron skinned, so there you go. These warrior smiths can take a single hit from a Jarl, at least with this weapon, which is not like a particularly high damage weapon, which is fine, because again, he's going up against humans, so it's like, he just needs like one more hit, and then we'll be screwed. So, but at least they managed to get up, and he took some more damage. That was probably the Soul Vortex, I'm guessing. Really probably should have. Oh, nice. We got another sword guy up here. Okay, this is looking better. This is like 3 sword guys in one. See, this is actually kind of bad though, right? Because they're clustered up, and this is where he's focused, especially too because he's trying to route. So he's like only gonna fight this square basically, and he has nobody to attack but like our most valuable guys. And this is the advantage of like mixing in the Vine Ogres into the same square kind of thing, because then he might target the Vine Ogres. I don't really know how the melee targeting works. Like maybe he would recognize that these guys are more dangerous. But anyway, he can only target them now, so this is not good. So we're getting some hits in. Boy, not a lot though. This guy's really high protection, so he's gone all in on the protection. This black steel full plate is like probably the most protection you can get in the. I should be careful. It's probably some legendary artifact. Short of a lot of research and spending a lot of gems, this is the most protection you can get in the game from an item. And 34. That's pretty high. And then he's got this dancing shield, which is going to block attacks. And our swords are not armor negating. So 50% of our attacks are just going to get blocked. This is not, he just popped one. This is not looking great. We got our prophet at least, and we do have guys like casting sleep, slow, word of stone. Like this is all stuff that was moss body popping, I believe. Yeah, and you see he just took 1 damage. So yeah, moss body definitely. I mean, he might have. We saw the other guy take some hits and survive, but yeah, definitely very helpful. Moss body, good spell. I don't think there's anybody else left on the field. No, so like all these spells that are coming in, like Earth Grip and etc. Well, Iron Warriors is a buff, but yeah, shit. He just lost the Shaman too, it looks like. Okay. Anyway, some of these spells, might, probably not Web. That Holy Word should stun him. Yeah, that's Web. Good work, mages. They missed, and they webbed up a bunch of our guys, which, like, whatever. At least they didn't web up, the longsword guys, just like some terracotta warriors. But anyway, like things like Holy Word and like Sleep might help us. So there is a possibility that our mages will get us out of this bind, but yeah, it's not looking good. Like, yeah, he just popped. So that's 3 greatsword guys down. Woof. We got a few more out here, but they're behind these sleeping air elementals, and then I think these are inanimate, so they don't get drained even by the soul vortex. So I don't think they're ever gonna wake up. So wait, that's oh, you know what? Of course, it's the chill aura. That's what it is. They don't have any cold resistance. So yeah, so they're immune to the soul vortex. So maybe soul vortex doesn't do fatigue. Anyway, I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, the cold aura is putting these guys to sleep. And like, yeah, I mean, his cold aura is not going anywhere, so like he's not going to wake up. He's not going to take any damage because he's inanimate, so he won't take damage from the soul vortex. So like, this is a perfect shield that I've given him. Which was probably now I know. So yeah, I mean, I mean, he's probably like, he's the smart warrior smith. He's like, I try to get in, but there's these air elementals in my way. Like, I don't know. And then he's the one that lives. So yeah, this is not looking good. So let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit and see. Like, so he's just gonna slowly chop his way through. We'll see. Yep, just killing. Oh, so many gems. He's regenerating. He's still taking poison damage, but it doesn't really matter now because like he's already trying to rout, and the poison's never gonna kill him. So this is not good. Okay, wait. A white got up. Is he gonna do anything? Oh, nope. Not even a little bit. Let's see. Did he get? No, this is just all still good stuff on this guy. We want to see some negative. We're just webbing our own guys, classic. It does look like... I said those air elementals were never going to go away, but I wonder if I don't think they can route normally. I don't know what would have gotten them. So yeah, but it does look like some of the air elementals are gone, or like have at least reduced in size, so that now like... where is it? Yeah, size 4, right? So you can fit like 1 terracotta warrior in. So like, yeah, this his chief might actually get in. Here's another greatsword guy. He also his morale failed. Yeah, that's understandable. So that's not good. Although now he can't retreat either. So these guys are just attacking each other because they both want to move in opposite directions to retreat. Instead, they're locked in a life or death struggle. Here some of our chaff is probably helping us, although he's still taking some damage. Wow, moss body. I'm assuming that's what's because he's only taking 1 damage. I mean, with 26 prot, that's good, but he'd probably still be taking more than 1 damage. Okay, yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is not looking good. Bane got in. Oh, we got a hit too. Okay, yeah, this is really good. Well, I mean, maybe. We'll see. Normally, like, this decaying, right? Like, okay, yeah, sure, it says this. But you shouldn't always believe Dominions. Usually this isn't going to matter because the battle doesn't go on long enough. If you're a human unit with, like, human lifespan, then maybe this would get you during the course of like a relatively normal battle. But this guy's not a human, as we're well aware. So he's already 828, and he's not going to get old until 1,000. So this is going to take a long time before this is going to matter at all. I think it does every time like his age like ticks up due to the decay. He does take a little bit of damage, so it can be useful for like morale failure and stuff like that. But like 1 or 2 damage on this guy, like he's regenerating a crap ton. So like he doesn't care. Like combined with the poison, if we were doing more damage to him overall, maybe that might help a little, but yeah, it's not looking good. We've got some afflictions on him at least. Battle fright, that's not going to help. And a limp, like whatever. But anyway, so yeah, let's see how old this guy gets. That's pretty much our only hope, I think, because we've lost a lot of the greatsword guys, and the rest of this trash just does not matter. All right, so let's see. Yep, it's ticking up. Not super fast, as you can see. This is gonna cost, even if it does work. Just so bad. You never know. Maybe a word of stone will get in. I mean, unfortunately, you can see the magic resistance 22. It's just not good enough for our prophet to get through. Where is our prophet? It's back here somewhere, no doubt. Oh no, it's our hero. This guy, our holy 3. So yeah, if we gave him like some magic penetration gear, that might help. I'm not sure if holy spells, but I'm pretty sure that their MR resist. Certainly that seems to be what's happening here, because yeah, the word of stone is just like not normally, like it can be a kill spell, but it's just not even affecting him. Anyway, so there's some gear you can give to people to help with penetration spells to make it more likely to break through like really high magic resistance. But I mean, most of that is astral. You need astral for that, and I don't really have any astral. So anyway, we've got a bunch of terracotta warriors. And we're just waiting for this guy to die of old age, is our plan. We're actually getting some hits in. There must be, yeah, greatsword guy finally made it in. Our guy was hiding behind the air elementals. Yep. Oh no, you fool. I still don't know what happened to those air. I wonder if they got poisoned? I don't think poison matters for them. Anyway, they're gone now. Who knows? So he's actually getting some hits. Holy moly. Okay, so there you go. So we've waited. He's an old man now, and he's diseased. He's got dementia, which is not funny, but it's good for us in this case because we want this guy dead. And it's a really bad affliction in Dominions as well. Episodes of inactivity is just really rough. And also reduces magic resistance. That's interesting. Didn't know that. But anyway, yeah. So the disease and stuff and the decay, I don't know the exact mechanics. And to be honest, I couldn't. This is something I asked people about after I saw this battle the first time. I couldn't really get an exact answer. I don't think. Yeah, decay is like a lesser known thing. So I don't think any unit will actually die of old age. But the decay damage apparently starts to increase dramatically, like once you get over the max age. So it's going to be doing like a lot more. Like, yeah, you can see at the tick of 4, like that's probably what it is. So yeah, we got him. So yeah, that 4 was probably like the decay, and like the 13, like who knows? And like, yeah, in true Dominions fashion, right? It's like, so where's the guy? That's the one who retreated. Here's the guy that died. Like a really long battle log. And then you see like what killed him? Mystery. And I think usually like this happens when it's like something like poison, or maybe like decay damage, right? Like some status effect killed him, I believe, is like why it's like, well, there's no, it's like nothing killed him, so how did he die? And it's like, well, I mean, there wasn't like an attack that killed him. It was like a status effect that was already on him that got him, and for whatever reason, because Dominions just doesn't show up in the battle log, or this battle just went on so long that the battle log just like gave up at some point and was like, yeah, whatever. Too much stuff. So I don't actually know, but definitely it was the decay that got him. So more or less we just waited until he became an old man. And died of old age, and yeah, so we won. It was not the most convincing win ever. It was really, if we hadn't trapped him, and he just routed off, like in a fort defense, if you route off, you die, and like that would have been so much better. So like maybe you shouldn't have brought all that chaff, like especially like the size 2 chaff. But I didn't really know what was in there. which is maybe an argument for waiting. You could like send a scout in, to ping to see what's inside. But I mean, he still has stuff on his capital, right? So that would put me behind a turn, and it's like if I assaulted this turn, I knew that the capital stuff, most of it, couldn't get there. Actually, I don't know their move speed, but I was pretty sure that their capital stuff couldn't get there. Certainly, if I'd waited a turn, he could have moved his capital force out right onto this province, and then no question he would have been able to move here. And he probably couldn't, because swamps are really tough to move through. And none of his guys have, swamp survival. So yeah, by assaulting this turn, we guaranteed that he's going to have minimal reinforcements, which is really important. But that means I didn't really know what was inside, right? So maybe I was going to need that chaff, but certainly as it shook out, I don't think it did us any favors at all. So let's take a look here. Again, here's a bunch of words. Some of this is not, well, I don't know. Theoretically, some of this might not be our own gear, because we did get a kill. But anyway, plenty of our own gear. But yeah, we captured the fortress. But yeah, I mean, this is... we killed all his stuff. Sure, great. So we got the Jarls. Like, that's huge. We got this caster. They're not too easy to replace. Yeah, like 225 gold. Not slow to recruit, though. And then, again, a bunch of these summons, that's good. And then, the spirits, like, whatever, right? That was probably just, like, kind of like, okay, this is what I can cast. And this, it's like panic defense. Not panic defense, because they might have actually, by paralyzing the Vine Ogres, really tripped us up. But anyway, just for the castle defense. So he doesn't really care too much about these spirits. So yeah, I mean, not nothing, but on our side, like, just so many mages lost. Just two of them are the cap only ones, who are slow to recruit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, these guys are not cheap either. So yeah, and then I mean, a bunch of the summons, like most of the rest of the long dead, which like not the end of the world. A lot of the terracotta soldiers, which, I mean, they're not great, but it does kind of hurt to lose them. They are gems. A couple whites, like, not easy to replace. But yeah, really just like so many mages. Like, we can't really do this again. I mean, this is like over half the mages that we deployed. So that's a huge loss. So even though we won, this, like, we got to change this strategy up. Like the foul vapors is working, but I am pretty concerned that he's going to start countering that. Like, there's always a clock, right? Like, once an enemy sees a strategy, like, they're going to work to counter it. And there's pretty much always a counter in Dominions. It's pretty good about that. So, you really have kind of a window of time, right, where you're just like, okay, this is effective now, but, 10 turns from now, it's probably not going to be effective, or at least less effective. So, I mean, that part of it is still working. And the greatswords, I mean, they have been getting some kills, but, like, this is just not acceptable. So yeah, not going to be using mages at the very least, like, to carry these swords. While it is useful that they can buff themselves up, yeah, can't take losses like this. Really, I don't know, even this loss is, like, kind of scary, because this is like a huge, it's very difficult to replace all this. This is a ton of fort turns that you just don't really get back. So, like, other players that haven't taken losses like this, you're kind of just not permanently behind, right? Because, I mean, if you expand and get bigger, and you have more forts, then, yeah, you can catch up or, even overtake them, even if they've taken fewer losses. And, I mean, most people take some losses. But yeah, I mean, this definitely, like, puts us behind other players that haven't taken losses this big. And, people do try to protect their mage cores. They don't normally, like, slap greatswords on them and send them in. So maybe not the best plan, but it did get us the win. So I'll take it. And then we had some retreats. Yeah, so we lost another, lost another antlered shaman. I think that was and we lost another warrior smith in the retreats. So yeah, so that really hurts, just kind of, yeah, just more what I was already talking about. So got the win, got the throne province, and so we're claiming immediately. Yeah, and I mean, I talked about the Throne of Death before, so don't really need to reiterate. I think this is a bit of a panic claim, because I mean, well, you can see, right? Like, I mean, this is all that's left here. I mean, it used to be able to like scroll this list, so it was just massive losses. This army is like greatly reduced, and when I say this army, I mean the army. It is the only one. So, just taking all those losses like that, it's sort of like, okay, I mean, I'm going to need, right, we really need to double down on this to bring more guys in, like, yeah, sure, it'd be great to, keep better growth scales for the long, for a longer game, but, like, we may not have a longer game here, because he's building up, and, I mean, obviously, he saw all those losses, he knows exactly what went down, so he knows how much weaker we are now. In addition to like possibly anybody else that had a scout on this province, and people like to leave scouts on throne provinces. I'm not the only one that does that. And anytime there's a siege, right, that's another reason. So this is a siege on a throne province. So like probably other people saw this battle, which is not good for us. We don't want them to see, what kind of like how many losses we're taking. But anyway, so yeah, claiming the throne. We're going to need to double down on this conjuration site and, hopefully replace some of our mage losses that way. So yeah, that's the main thing. Otherwise, some successful raiding. So, that's always good, minimal losses. And then, he counter-raided us. Where did he counter-raid? This is that same Jarl. So yeah, okay, so he moved up to here, which could be a little annoying. We really don't want him to get, loose in the back line. And to that end, I think... Yeah, moving the army, really most of the army, leaving a couple guys. Ooh, this hurts. Not really sure why we're making gargoyles here. That's probably a mistake. Well, I mean, it's definitely a mistake. I guess maybe for defense, but I don't know. But anyway, moving the majority of the army back and patrolling here because I don't want this fort to get locked down again. And then also, if we can catch him trying to lock this fort down, like we should be able to kill a single Jarl out in the field who has room to run away. We're leaving a lot of chaff behind just, to help defend if we end up needing it. And then also just because, yeah, you saw what happened, like trapping, retreating Jarls with like this chaff, not good. So yeah, maybe gonna leave these terracotta warriors in reserve or, for like the bigger battles. But in these situations where we know there's just gonna be a Jarl, just going to be using some great swords. Not too many, really. Yeah, so it looks like... Yeah, don't really have any great swords here. So not a lot of great swords. Just the two. And we're using these guys instead. Who mostly just get used to lead undead. But yeah, we're just waiting until everything else gets engaged. They're really fast. Pretty fast, actually. A little slower than I thought. But yeah, that's still really fast. So definitely don't want these guys to race out ahead because they have 7 hit points. And I mean, they have good defense skill, but I mean, the Jarls are like, they're going to be able to get through it. And all it's going to take is 1 hit to take these guys down. Not a thug chassis, really, at all, ever. But... we lost a ton of mages. I really don't want to use any more mages. And, if he's busy with the Vine Ogres, 2 great swords getting in could be enough. Certainly be enough to put a lot of damage on him and hopefully trigger the rout, along with the Foul Vapors. I don't think this guy has any poison resistance gear. Yeah, no poison resistance. So really the great swords in that group, sort of a secondary measure, but you can see already that, I've given up really almost by necessity, due to mage losses, just, giving the great swords to the mages. Almost mages are cheap, but not that cheap. So yeah, probably not going to stick with this chassis. In fact, we only have 1 great sword. Probably should have given this guy one as well. I guess he is leading undead, whereas this guy's not. So yeah, just 1 great sword. So really secondary. But you never know. Could work. But yeah, hopefully just the Foul Vapors will rout him off. If he even jumps on here, which he might not. Bring in some more terracotta warriors in. I mean, we took a lot of losses. We have some gems. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe should be saving these for something else. Because they're not great. But I mean, it is useful to have a front line for foul vapors. So that's something. And they're poison resistant. So anyway, gonna try to defend. He may continue to raid back, so we really want to catch this guy because again, it's just gonna trigger like all that unrest. So this guy's actually moving back because we have some unrest on Ulm, right? Because that was put under siege at one point. Let's see, did we bring the unrest down here? Yeah, we did. And you see, like, it's a big jump. I think it was like 276 or something last turn, and there was only a little bit of unrest, but yeah, I mean, so this is significantly more income. So like that unrest, like, I mean, for some of the provinces like this one, it's like whatever, right? 11 unrest, like I don't care, doesn't matter. But for the valuable provinces, you do want to try to bring that unrest down. So anyway, he's headed back to Ulm because he can't patrol here because this guy might jump on, and I do not want his militia to show up in a battle. That they would just die to foul vapors and cause problems. So yeah, sending him back. Let's see, do we have anything else? Yes, of course. Burden of Time continuing. Dire Portent always. So yeah, Helheim stole, it looks like, Riches of the Deep or Riches from Beneath from Niflheim, which is good. So yeah, now Niflheim does not have that anymore. It's kind of an interesting one to steal. I feel like this is like it even says it in the message, I think. Where is it? Is not the most spectacular of miracles. They kind of diss it like right in the description. So yeah, I mean, it's not really seen as like, I feel it's kind of a little unusual that it's being fought over. Usually it's one of the ones that you can kind of cast up and like, people are a little more worried about, say, like, oh, I don't know, wait, where's Burden of Time? But yeah, Burden of Time would be one that you'd be a lot more worried about. Let's see, Old Age. Yeah, that. I guess maybe this is just left over. Let's see. Oh, Theridos got eliminated. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, when a global casting nation gets eliminated, their global goes down. So that's really good news for all living nations. No more Burden of Time. Now, of course, it's still not going to reverse, right? Like all of our okay. She's not old. That's good. I wonder if I don't know if anti-magic helps. Probably not. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Sometimes definitely items can help for overland, like strategic effects. So like there's some spells that'll do like fire damage to like whole armies, just like as a ritual on the strategic map. And like if your guys have like fire resistance, like they're way more likely to survive, or if they have enough fire resistance, they'll be totally fine. So I don't think this helps, but I don't know. It's a little superstitious. And it never hurts to give an important caster a little more magic resistance for battles. But anyway, yeah, which I don't know. I'm sure we have some old guys in here. It doesn't basically Burden of Time going down is not going to solve any old age problems that like we already like this guy, and he's already diseased, like he's screwed, which is why he's holding a lantern. But it's good. Nobody else is gonna get super afflicted or early old age. So that is really good news for all living nations. And then some unexpected events. Yes, the Monster Boar Classic. So this just generates a bunch of unrest, which is annoying until you patrol it out, and then losing some income. Great. Some plus defense. That's nice. I like this one. Like, people are being sacrificed in the woods. It may just be a rumor, but like definitely 310 people are gone. So I don't know. I don't know about a rumor. That's cool. Getting some more unrest just where we patrolled it. It looks like we got rid of it. That's cool. So I guess you get rid of because we were patrolling. Although we're headed out now, so it looks like we're going for these barbarians. This is the scout report fluctuating. We're sending a couple swarm casters with them. Maybe overkill, but I would just rather the barbarians kill bugs and not Iron Maiden or not Steel Maidens. So yeah, moving a couple more mages up to the capital, it looks like, and maybe a couple here. We don't have a ton of mages down here, but we just took a ton of losses, so anybody that we can move up is definitely going to be helpful. Doing a little site searching with this guy, so that's good. I want to increase our gem income if possible. But yeah, and then getting a couple more guys researching, so breaking up this army a little bit. I mean, it's much reduced. Like, realistically now with these losses, like, there's no way that we're going to be able to march on the capital immediately. In fact, like, really, we're probably going to be playing some defense. So, keeping the raiders moving, keeping them going, causing problems. The more that we can slow them down, the better. Because there'll definitely be a counterattack coming, and we're gonna. That's part of why bringing Terracotta Warriors in. Like, not the best thing, but gonna need something. So yeah, I think that more or less covers it. And we're headed into winter now. I mean, it's just fall, so it probably was summer for some of those pivotal battles. I don't think I never actually checked. But the fact that it's fall now, so they were fought during summer. But headed to winter now, so that's not that it really matters a ton, because so much cold dominion. And then research, more or less the same. Looks like we squeezed Conjuration 6 in here, and part of that is because we claim the Throne of Death, so more death income. So really want to get these specters going like as soon as possible, which are at Conjuration 6. But still really want to finish out that Construction 7, and then we talked about all the rest of these goals, so that all remains the same. So overall a good turn. Anytime you capture a throne province and a fort, like, that's not a bad turn, but a lot of losses. So turn 55, bit of a mixed bag.